When you message a company and a chatbot replies instantly, when you ask your phone a question and it answers without a search, when a support agent steps in seamlessly after a bot escalates your case, that is conversational artificial intelligence at work. And in this video, you're going to be tested on how the AI-900 exam expects you to know it. 10 questions covering Azure Bot Service, Power Virtual Agents, Bot Framework Composer, Bot Channels, and how bots integrate with language and knowledge services. Question 10 is an architecture scenario that puts 4 requirements on the table simultaneously, and all 4 have a different answer. Can you get all 4 right? Let's find out. Welcome back to Skills on Cloud. This is part 5 of 10 in the AI-900 practice series, which means you are halfway through. If you have been following from part 1, that is a serious commitment to your exam prep. Subscribe and hit the bell so parts 6 through 10 land in your feed as soon as they drop. Now, let's get into the questions. Quick orientation. The conversational artificial intelligence domain covers 15 to 20% of the AI-900 exam. The exam focuses on 3 main areas. First, what conversational AI is and when it applies. Second, the Azure tools for building bots, specifically Azure Bot Service, Bot Framework Composer, and Power Virtual Agents, and critically, which one to use for which audience. Third, how bots integrate with Azure language services like conversational language understanding and question answering. The most tested trap in this domain is confusing Power Virtual Agents with Bot Framework Composer and confusing CLU with question answering inside a bot scenario. Today's 10 questions are built to prepare you for exactly those traps. Let's go. Question 1 of 10. Which of the following best describes conversational artificial intelligence? Option A, a system that translates spoken language into written text. Option B, a system that enables computers to understand, process, and respond to human language in a natural, dialogue-based way. Option C, a system that classifies text documents into predefined categories. Option D, a system that detects objects within images using bounding boxes. Take a moment to think. The correct answer is B. Conversational artificial intelligence refers to technologies that enable machines to simulate natural, human-like dialogue. This includes chatbots, virtual assistants, and voice-based agents that can understand user input and respond in a contextually relevant way. Option A describes speech-to-text, which is a component that can feed into conversational AI, but is not the definition of it. Option C describes text classification. Option D describes object detection, which is a computer vision task. Key trigger: machines holding natural dialogue with humans equals conversational artificial intelligence. Question 2 of 10. A bank wants to build and deploy a conversational chatbot that can handle customer queries about account balances, recent transactions, and branch locations across its website, mobile app, and Microsoft Teams simultaneously. Which Azure service is specifically designed to build, host, and connect bots to multiple channels? Option A, Azure Logic Apps. Option B, Azure Bot Service. Option C, Azure Language Service. Option D, Azure Cognitive Search. Think about which service is built for bot lifecycle management and multi-channel deployment. The correct answer is B, Azure Bot Service. Azure Bot Service is the dedicated Azure platform for building, testing, deploying, and managing intelligent bots. It provides a framework for bot development and, critically, includes the Bot Framework Channels feature, which allows a single bot to be connected to multiple communication channels such as web chat, Microsoft Teams, Slack, and mobile apps simultaneously. Azure Logic Apps automates workflows, but is not a bot development platform. Azure Language Service provides natural language understanding capabilities that a bot might use, but it is not the deployment and channel management platform. Azure Cognitive Search provides AI-powered search capabilities. Key trigger: building and deploying a bot to multiple channels equals Azure Bot Service. Question 3 of 10. A developer with limited coding experience wants to design the conversational flow of a bot visually, using a graphical canvas to map out dialogue turns, branching logic, and responses without writing complex code. Which Microsoft tool is designed for this purpose? Option A, Azure Machine Learning Designer. Option B, Power Virtual Agents. Option C, Bot Framework Composer. Option D, Azure Logic Apps. Consider what the question is asking about, specifically the visual design of bot dialogue. The correct answer is C, Bot Framework Composer. Bot Framework Composer is an open-source visual authoring tool that allows developers and technically capable non-developers to design conversational flows graphically. It integrates with Azure Bot Service and supports the full Bot Framework SDK. Power Virtual Agents is a no-code, low-code bot building tool aimed at business users rather than developers, and it uses a different interface and deployment model. Azure Machine Learning Designer is for building machine learning pipelines, not bots. Azure Logic Apps is a workflow automation tool. Key trigger, visual graphical canvas for designing bot dialogue flows used by developers equals Bot Framework Composer. Question 4 of 10. A marketing manager with no coding experience wants to build a customer-facing chatbot for a product launch without involving the development team. The bot needs to answer frequently asked questions and escalate complex queries to a human agent. Which Microsoft tool is most appropriate? Option A, Azure Bot Service with Bot Framework SDK. Option B, Bot Framework Composer. Option C, Azure Logic Apps. Option D, Power Virtual Agents. Think carefully about who is building this bot and what their technical background is. The correct answer is D, Power Virtual Agents. Power Virtual Agents is a low-code, no-code bot building platform specifically designed for business users and subject matter experts who do not have software development skills. It uses a guided, topic-based authoring interface and includes built-in escalation to human agents. Azure Bot Service with a Bot Framework SDK requires coding. Bot Framework Composer, while visual, is still aimed at developers and requires technical configuration. Azure Logic Apps automates business workflows. Key trigger, no-code bot built by a business user without developer involvement equals Power Virtual Agents. Question 5 of 10. An organization builds a single customer service bot using Azure Bot Service. The organization wants the same bot to be available to customers via its website chat widget, via WhatsApp, and via Microsoft Teams, without building 3 separate bots. What Azure Bot Service feature makes this possible? Option A, Bot Framework SDK. Option B, Bot Channels. Option C, Azure Cognitive Search Integration. Option D, Conversational Language Understanding Integration. Think about what connects a single bot to multiple platforms. The correct answer is B, Bot Channels. Bot channels in Azure Bot Service allow a single deployed bot to be connected to multiple communication platforms simultaneously. Each channel, such as web chat, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp, Slack, or Facebook Messenger, acts as a connector between the bot and the endpoint platform. The Bot Framework SDK is used to write the bot logic, not to manage channel connections. Azure Cognitive Search Integration adds search capability to a bot. Conversational Language Understanding Integration adds intent and entity recognition. Key trigger, connecting one bot to multiple platforms equals bot channels. You are halfway through. Drop your score out of 5 in the comments right now, 0 to 5. All scores welcome. And remember, you are also at the halfway point of the entire series, so if you have made it this far, you're already more prepared than most people who attempt this exam. The second half of today's video gets harder. Question 10 is a 4-requirement bot architecture scenario. If you are unsure about when to use Power Virtual Agents versus Bot Framework Composer versus Azure Bot Service directly, the next few questions will sharpen that up for you. Let's go. Question 6 of 10. A company has an older customer service chatbot that can only respond to exact keyword matches and predefined menu selections. It cannot understand varied phrasing, synonyms, or follow-up questions. What type of system is this, and what would be the key benefit of replacing it with a conversational AI solution? Option A, it is a rule-based chatbot, and replacing it would enable natural language understanding so users can phrase queries freely. Option B, it is a machine learning model, and replacing it would improve image recognition accuracy. Option C, it is a conversational AI system, and replacing it would reduce cloud costs. Option D, it is a deep learning model, and replacing it would improve text translation quality. Think carefully about what the scenario is describing. The correct answer is A. A system that only responds to exact keyword matches and predefined menus is a rule-based or scripted chatbot. It has no natural language understanding capability. Replacing it with a conversational artificial intelligence solution powered by language understanding models would allow users to phrase their queries naturally, use synonyms, ask follow-up questions, and have more fluid interactions. Options B, C, and D all misidentify the system type or describe unrelated benefits. Key trigger: keyword matching and fixed menus equals rule-based chatbot. Conversational AI equals natural language understanding. Question 7 of 10. A travel booking bot built on Azure Bot Service needs to understand when a user says things like, "I want to fly to Paris next weekend," and correctly identify that the user intends to search for flights, that the destination is Paris, and that the travel date is next weekend. Which Azure service should be integrated with the bot to provide this capability? Option A, Azure Cognitive Search. Option B, Azure Translator. Option C, Azure Question Answering. Option D, Azure Conversational Language Understanding. Think about what type of analysis the bot needs to perform on the user input. The correct answer is D, Azure Conversational Language Understanding, also known as CLU. CLU is designed to identify the intent behind a user utterance and extract named entities from that utterance. In this scenario, the intent is to search for flights, the destination entity is Paris, and the date entity is next weekend. Azure Cognitive Search adds document search capability to bots. Azure Translator handles language translation. Azure Question Answering retrieves answers from a knowledge base, but does not identify intents or extract structured entities from open commands. Key trigger: intent identification plus entity extraction from user commands inside a bot equals conversational language understanding. Question 8 of 10. A healthcare organization wants to add a bot to its patient portal that can accurately answer common medical procedure questions, such as, "How long does recovery from a knee replacement take?" by drawing answers directly from its existing library of approved clinical documents and patient information leaflets. Which Azure service should be integrated with the bot? Option A, Azure Conversational Language Understanding. Option B, Azure Question Answering. Option C, Azure Translator. Option D, Azure Form Recognizer. Think about what the bot needs to do with the existing documents. The correct answer is B, Azure Question Answering. Azure Question Answering allows you to ingest existing documents, FAQ pages, and other knowledge content into a knowledge base, and then serve precise answers to user questions by matching them to the relevant content in that knowledge base. It is the correct choice when a bot needs to retrieve factual answers from a defined set of existing authoritative documents. Azure Conversational Language Understanding extracts intents and entities from commands, but does not retrieve answers from a document store. Azure Translator handles language translation. Azure Form Recognizer extracts structured data from forms. Key trigger: bot retrieving answers from existing documents or knowledge base equals Azure Question Answering. Question 9 of 10. A company deploys a customer service bot powered by a large language model. Occasionally, the bot generates responses that are factually incorrect or offensive, and users have no way to escalate to a human agent or report a problem. Which two responsible artificial intelligence principles are most at risk of being violated? Option A, transparency and reliability and safety. Option B, fairness and inclusiveness. Option C, privacy and security and accountability. Option D, sustainability and efficiency. Think carefully about what each scenario element maps to. The correct answer is A, transparency and reliability and safety. The reliability and safety principle is violated because the bot generates factually incorrect and offensive outputs, which means it is not performing safely or consistently. The transparency principle is violated because users have no visibility into how the bot works, no ability to report problems, and no route to escalate to a human, which prevents them from understanding or challenging the bot's decisions. Fairness and inclusiveness relate to equitable treatment and accessible design, which are not the primary concerns here. Privacy and security relate to data handling. Accountability is related, but the question specifically describes the transparency gap through the escalation failure. Key trigger: bot producing harmful outputs plus no human escalation equals reliability and safety plus transparency violations. Question 10 of 10, the trickiest question in the set, so read every requirement with precision. An insurance company wants to build a customer-facing bot with the following 4 requirements. Requirement 1, the bot must be deployed to the company website, to Microsoft Teams, and to WhatsApp from a single deployment. Requirement 2, when a customer types a message such as, "I need to make a claim for flood damage to my car," the bot must identify the intent as filing a claim and extract the damage type as flood and the asset type as car. Requirement 3, when a customer asks, "What documents do I need to submit for a home insurance claim?" the bot must retrieve the accurate answer from the company's existing policy documents. Requirement 4, the bot must be built and maintained by the insurance company's business analysts without writing code. Which combination of Microsoft tools and Azure services correctly addresses all 4 requirements? Option A, Azure Bot Service for Requirement 1, Azure Conversational Language Understanding for Requirement 2, Azure Question Answering for Requirement 3, and Bot Framework Composer for Requirement 4. Option B, Bot Framework Composer for Requirement 1, Azure Translator for Requirement 2, Azure Cognitive Search for Requirement 3, and Power Virtual Agents for Requirement 4. Option C, Azure Bot Service for Requirement 1, Azure Question Answering for Requirement 2, Azure Conversational Language Understanding for Requirement 3, and Power Virtual Agents for Requirement 4. Option D, Power Virtual Agents for all 4 requirements. Now here is where candidates go wrong. Requirement 4 is the decisive constraint. Building and maintaining a bot without writing code by business analysts points unmistakably to Power Virtual Agents, not Azure Bot Service with the Bot Framework and not Bot Framework Composer. However, Power Virtual Agents does not natively replace all the other services in this architecture. Let's work through each requirement. Requirement 1 asks for a single bot deployed to website, Teams, and WhatsApp. That is bot channels in Azure Bot Service. Requirement 2 asks for intent identification and entity extraction from a user command. That is conversational language understanding. Requirement 3 asks for answers retrieved from existing policy documents. That is Azure Question Answering. Requirement 4 asks for no-code authoring by business analysts. That is Power Virtual Agents. So the correct answer is A, Azure Bot Service for channels, conversational language understanding for intent and entities, Azure Question Answering for document-based answers, and Power Virtual Agents for no-code authoring. The trap in options C and D is swapping CLU and question answering and assuming Power Virtual Agents replaces the entire architecture. Always match each requirement to the service built for that specific job. How did you go on that last one? Getting all 4 requirements correctly matched in question 10 is a genuine marker of exam readiness for this domain. Drop your final score out of 10 in the comments. I read every one. Now, part 6 is going to be different from the previous parts. Instead of focusing on a single Azure service domain, part 6 is a deep dive on responsible AI, all 6 Microsoft principles, how the exam tests them, and most importantly, the scenarios where 2 principles overlap and you have to choose the most relevant one. That distinction trips up a lot of candidates, and part 6 is built specifically to train you for it. Subscribe now. The countdown is on your screen. I will see you in part 6.